The worst sin that can happen is that you accidentally gave someone health care. You accidentally let someone see a doctor. And that is like a crime, because why? And before people say we don't have the money for it, we don't quote unquote have the money for a better and improved social safety net, because we let assholes like Elon Musk gut Medicaid and gut Social Security in order for him to pay for his own tax cuts, and B, his own $1 billion in private federal contracts. This guy takes billions and billions of your tax dollars, of your public funds. Oh, and it's not just Elon. All these guys, a lot of these tech guys that were standing behind Trump at the inauguration, a lot of tech talks about themselves as tech, but they're really just defense contractors. They're the new Boeing. They're the new Lockheed Martin. They're defense contractors. And they are robbing us of the tiny slivers of what we have left in our collective public social safety net in order to get billion-dollar defense contracts. Because here's the thing, you want to hear another interesting fact? You could fire every single federal worker and it would still be something only like 4% of the federal budget. Where's all the rest of it going? If you actually wanted to go after waste, fraud, and abuse, you would go after defense contractors. You would go after a lot of other contractors. But the problem is, those are the guys who are making the money off of cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. And they fund propaganda for it. And they buy platforms like Twitter and Meta and all these other things. And they influence what you see so that you don't see what they do. Okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, patriots, people of the free world, lovers of truth and justice, and even the haters. Because let's be honest, the haters are always watching. They're tuned in, taking notes, whispering in their little corners, foaming at the mouth, waiting for something to pick apart. But guess what? We're not stopping. We're here, we're talking, and we're telling it like it is. Now let's get right into it, because what we saw the other night was something truly extraordinary. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, the fiery congresswoman from New York, decided she was going to take to Instagram Live and deliver an absolute roast of Donald J. Trump while he was giving his State of the Union speech. And folks, let me tell you, it was something. It was electric. It was powerful. It was everything the people wanted and more. Because here's the thing, Trump stands up there, chest puffed out like some kind of reality TV kingpin who just signed off on another bad business deal, and he tells the American people how great everything is. How perfect, how beautiful, how big, strong, and totally, absolutely fantastic his presidency has been. And AOC, she was not having it. She was watching like the rest of us, and she got up there on her Instagram Live and laid out the real deal, the real truth. The raw, unfiltered, no BS facts that a lot of folks are too scared to say. And let me tell you, it was a thing of beauty. It was art. It was a political masterclass. It was something straight out of the book of How to Ether a Sitting President 101. And folks, she didn't just throw shade. She built an entire tree and let the American people sit underneath it. Now let's talk about the moment that really sent shockwaves through the internet. AOC looks into the camera, real serious, real direct, and she says, "The worst sin that can happen is that you accidentally gave someone health care." Boom, just like that. That's the kind of line that shakes the table. That's the kind of line that makes the lobbyists clutch their pearls and the billionaires check their offshore accounts. Because she's right. She's absolutely 100% without a doubt right. In this country, somehow, someway, taking care of people, making sure they don't die because they can't afford to see a doctor, making sure that a kid with asthma gets their inhaler, making sure that a hardworking mother doesn't have to choose between rent and her insulin, that's considered a crime. That's considered radical. That's considered, I don't know, socialism, communism, Marxism, some kind of ism that the people in power love to use as a boogeyman to keep the masses from waking up. And before the usual suspects come in with their tired lines, "Oh, but we don't have the money for it, we don't have the budget, we don't have the resources," AOC came with receipts. And let me tell you, she laid them out like a dealer in Vegas. She said, let's be real, let's be honest, we don't have money for healthcare. We don't have money to help people survive. But we have money for billionaires like Elon Musk to get tax breaks so big that he could probably buy another planet and rename it Muskland. This guy takes billions, billions with a B of taxpayer dollars, not just him, but all these tech guys. The ones that stood behind Trump at his inauguration, the ones who smiled and nodded and acted like they were the future when really, they're just another version of the same old game. They call themselves tech innovators, but what they really are is defense contractors with a new coat of paint. Let's break this down, folks. Let's really get into it. Because AOC wasn't just throwing words into the wind. She was giving the people game. She was pulling back the curtain and showing us what's really happening. She said it plain. If you actually wanted to go after waste, fraud, and abuse, you wouldn't be going after the little guy. You wouldn't be attacking the single mom working 2 jobs. You wouldn't be cutting Medicaid, cutting Social Security, cutting food assistance. No. You'd be going after the real culprits. You'd be going after the people who are stuffing their pockets while convincing you that your neighbor is the reason you're struggling. Because here's the thing, this country isn't broke. Let me say that again for the people in the back. This country is not broke. There is money, there is wealth, there are resources. But the problem is that they aren't being used to help you. They aren't being used to uplift the people. They're being funneled into the pockets of the people who already have more than they could ever spend in 10 lifetimes. And what do they do with that money? They buy the platforms, they buy the narratives. They make sure that when you log onto Twitter or Facebook or whatever other app you're scrolling through, you see what they want you to see. You see distractions, you see division, you see anything and everything except for what's really happening behind the scenes. Because if people really knew, if people really saw the full picture, oh, it would be a whole different game. AOC said it loud and clear. The people robbing you aren't the ones at the bottom. They're the ones at the top. They're the ones cutting deals behind closed doors, the ones securing billion-dollar defense contracts while telling you that we can't afford a social safety net. And if you think for 1 second that they're going to stop, that they're going to grow a conscience and start doing the right thing out of the kindness of their hearts, you've got another thing coming. So what do we do? That's the real question. What do we do when the truth is out there, when the facts are clear, when we see the game for what it really is? We fight back, we stay informed. We don't fall for the lies, we don't let them turn us against each other. We demand better, we organize. We push for policies that actually help people, not just corporations, not just billionaires, not just politicians looking for their next campaign check. And let's be real, AOC has her critics. She has people who want to dismiss her, who want to call her names, who want to act like she's just another loud voice in a sea of noise. But let me tell you something, the truth is the truth, no matter who's saying it. And if you can't handle the truth, if you don't like the truth, then maybe, just maybe, you're part of the problem. So to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I say this, keep talking, keep pushing, keep holding their feet to the fire, because the people are watching, the people are listening, and whether they want to admit it or not, the people know that you're telling the truth. And the truth, my friends, it always wins in the end.